here is my current network setup. We have a router, and of course the power, my Philips Hue, my Danfoss, and then here is where my connection is coming in. So the idea is that I'm gonna take all of this, remove it completely, pull a whole new cable all the way up onto my roof and then into the new room where everything's going to be located, and then close everything off here, so it's going to be very nice to look at. So the whole thing is going to be located down on my office. Oh. Hey Frederik. Yeah. Now, anyway, everything is going to be located in here. I have already started on the materials. So the new setup is going to be sitting here in this corner where we're going to be a cable tray coming down. Everything is going to be looking very nice. Here I have the main cabinet. I just installed a cooling system for the unit because this one here was not installed with a cooling, so I had to modify a little bit, but I'm actually quite satisfied with how everything turned out. So of course, we just have the power, neutral and the phase. It's going to be controlled with just this small unit here. Just a standard normally open contact. Going to be activated at 25 degrees Celsius. So I would probably maybe look it up here in the corner or something. Yeah. But we'll see when I come to that point. But anyway, this case here is going to be sitting right there. I have already started a little bit. And all the things I'm going to be using is only Ubiquiti equipment. That's going to be in the whole setup. I will explain it later, but there will be 2 access points Wi-Fi, Cloud Gateway Fiber, 2 Switch Flex 2.5 gigs 8 PoEs. So one for the main internet and one for my cameras. And then of course it's going to be 2 cameras for now. One for my drive-in and one for the side of the house. And in my living room I'm going to have a small switch behind my TV and all the other equipments, because the Wi-Fi on those equipments are quite annoying sometimes. So now it's just going to be whole cable, everything around. And of course I'm going to have some power supplies for these PoE connectors, because they are quite hungry. So here it is, my Cloud Gate Fiber in a 3D printed case from Maker World. I will find that in the description later. And then I'm gonna use a fiber for one of the switches, and it's gonna be for the internet. And the other one for the cameras is just gonna be a normal Ethernet cable, Cat6a of course. And here are one of the switches in one of the cases, also from MakerWork. And it's from the same guy who made the other one. So there's gonna be a case for each. And I'm actually quite satisfied with all the prints. They are looking very nice. And of course here's the power supply for the fiber. 2 power supplies for the switch. Those are some beefy ones. They're 210 watts each. And of course we have for all the plugs inside the cabinet. My little concern is that I think maybe I should have ordered a bigger cabinet, because this 10-inch cabinet might be a little too small. I should have probably went with a 19. But yeah, that might just be for an upgrade in the future, I probably think. But anyway. And of course, inside the cabinet for all my cables that's coming in, it's gonna be a half panel. Let's see if I can open it up. There we go. Unfortunately it is in black, but yeah, you get what you can find, because this was a very nice design. So I think at some point I might print it with a front cover in white, so it's going to be the same color as the other ones, because these ones they're definitely what I needed, because these ones are Cat 6A, and all the cables I'm gonna use in the house is Cat 6 also. So everything is gonna be shielded and protected, so I shouldn't have any issue whatsoever. And of course, to connect everything inside the camera is gonna be these small ones, 15 millimeters patch cables. But yeah, here's gonna be sitting, coming down from the roof. It's gonna be very nice. Here is the result. Quite satisfied, pleased with how everything turned out. Installed the glass panel at the same time. So now the next step for me is to start pulling the cables. Here is the result. I got all the data cables and the power cable into the cabinet. Took me around 6 hours. But yeah, it was all worth it. So now it's dark outside. But yeah, it is what it is. So for here I'm gonna have the first AP from my office. And then in the living room, I have a small data cable for the switch. And then here is my antenna cable that's gonna be connected here. And then I'm gonna close everything off. So it's gonna be very nice and tight in here. And over here in the corner, here's my other AP. It's gonna be sitting for my living room. So up here, right in there in the corner, we have the cable for the cameras coming in for the driveway. And over here is the cables for the Wi-Fi. And as you can see up here, here are all the cables running through. So it goes all the way down to here. So here we have the cables going from the living room. So there's the switch and everything. And this bunch of pile of trash here was just a bunch of cables laying on my roof for the previous owners. So I had to remove those as well. But yeah, then everything is going down here. Then into my office. Looking very nice. But I had some trouble with this area down here, because it was very tight and very narrow, and everything had to be underneath the insulation. So, but here are the cables coming in, going underneath the insulation, and all the way down in the corner there's my other camera, and right there where the light is focused is my other AP, and over in that area right there is all the cables coming down to my switch. So yeah, it was very fun to pull all this. Thank God I'm finished. So for the next one now is to start installing all the APs, my cameras and the switch in the living room. And then after that I can finally start on my data rack. So I'm looking quite forward to that. So here's my first access point. It's a U7 Pro. It's gonna be the one that I'm gonna use for my office. So yeah, as you know, the standard. And of course, tie it to the roof. The back plate. First finished. Now to the second one. Now the Wi-Fi for my living room. Same access point, U7 Pro. So same design. Looking very nice. So, this is the first camera I'm going to put up. The camera I chose was a G6 turret. White, of course. Beautiful design. Of course, the base. So, and quite nice. So, for the side of my house, G6 turret again, white edition. So,